All right, what's happening? What's going on? Welcome back to the Big Pick Podcast. I am joined this time by Mr. Bill. Say hello, Mr. Bill.
Oh man, it's me.
And then we also got Mr. Chicken. He's finally back. How's it going, Mr. Chicken?
Hey, it's going fantastic. Week two was obviously a wild week of football, but we're not talking about week two today. We're talking about week three.
Well, technically, yes, we are. We're going to go back and recap these games. Because we
The
are the
three.
0-2 squad right now.
Oof,
What a nice start. We now each have a
this is rough.
12.5% chance of getting in the playoffs. Hooray.
Nice. It's okay. The Rams are gonna do terrible down the stretch, and the Seahawks are gonna just, get so good. The goodliest.
They're going to discover some hidden talent and just rise back to the top. There
That's
we
it.
go.
We're not talking Seattle right now, boys. We are going to talk, we're going to chronologically
Some Houston
speaking, and we're going to
Texans.
start in Music City. The Titans with Blaine Gabbert beat the Texans. Somehow, some way, that was one of the most disgraceful losses I have ever seen. You do not lose to Blaine freaking Gabbert.
Well, you do, cause your boys did.
Chicken, just wait till we get to your Seahawks.
Listen, you didn't play against Khalil Mack. You played against the Titans.
Oh my god, this was pathetic. Well, really, the one play that pretty much secured them the win easily was the fact that they played a trick play on a punt. Although, I wouldn't even argue it was a trick play, it was just taking advantage of a bad formation.
I
When
mean,
you
I
see
thought your defense was going to be better than what they were.
Yeah.
that's special teams, that's a different situation.
I
Anyway,
mean,
on the punt, they left one guy on the right side completely open, and obviously the punting team adjusted to that. Threw him a perfectly thrown ball and to the house.
By
Just-
a punter, no.
Just wow.
oh yeah, there was to like a defensive back ran it for 66 yards.
Yeah, it was something crazy like that.
That was
I mean-
horrifying.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I can imagine.
Yep, it took a long time for this Texas team to get settled in. And when they did, they were throwing daggers. They were also running the ball very well in the third quarter. The third quarter was the best quarter for Houston by far because they finally established a rhythm, and the run game was just dragging and tiring out the Titans defense. A shame that Bill O'Brien decides to go screw it up by doing back-to-back screen passes. Like, that's gonna work. Screen passes hardly ever
I
work.
mean,
They
not for
rarely
nothing,
ever
but
do.
You guys need to, run a lot more intermediate routes. You have one of the best wide receiver tandems in the league with DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller, and Bill O'Brien needs to take advantage of that and call plays that are gonna
Yeah,
get his
like,
boys
here's the
open
thing.
downfield.
They had 435 yards of total offense, and yet they only got into the red zone once, and even then they didn't even score a touchdown. They only scored touchdowns with like beyond the red zone, like from the 30 or the 40.
Right.
And here,
What,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Bill?
no, I was just gonna say, and here's the other thing is that where is the Houston Texans tight ends at?
Oh, they are making moves. It's just Watson
And
keeps
where-
trying to force the ball to Fuller or
And where's the
or
pass
Hopkins
rush?
when he shouldn't. There's a lot of bad
Where's the-
decisions he's making
Like,
because
where's the Houston pass rush right now? Because that's
they pressure, but they don't actually get sacks. The only one who's been getting sacks is the guy you don't expect, DJ Reader, who is becoming a sneaky good nose tackle. Like, he's no Aaron Donald, but you know what? Who doesn't want a reliable and good enough nose tackle? I don't think anyone
I
would
mean,
say
if it
no to
was-
that.
right. Especially if you guys run a 3-4, so
J.J. Watt is just inching closer and closer to sacks, and he's getting faster. You can see him cutting through linemen. If they're not expecting his movements, he's gonna
hopefully
cut
Clowney
through them.
Gets healthy soon.
Yeah.
Said hopefully Clowney gets healthy soon.
He should be starting this week. They're saying if things go the way they are, he should be starting on Sunday. And of course, guess what? next week is going to be the best offensive line any defensive line wants to get healthy off of and get better with.
You playing the Colts?
No, better. The Giants.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You couldn't ask for a better offensive line, but we'll talk about that later. Right now, this defensive line has issues of actually not hitting the quarterback. No pressure. They're getting some pressures. They're forcing him to move a little, but he's always getting the ball off before he's getting sacked. I think they only recorded 2 sacks, and they were all by the players who you don't expect to get them. Like I said, DJ Reader got one, and then a couple rookies. I think his name was like Elijah Four or something. I forget the names, but like rookie players are making more impacts than some of the veterans on defense, which is surprising. On one hand, it's good, but it's also a little worrisome.
I think really the only veteran right now that's made an impact on the Texans defense right now has been Tyrann Mathieu.
Yep. Also, he was going after Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson was not following the defensive play calling that well, and that's what led to a touchdown for the Titans, actually. Honey Badger ripped him a lot, and then now Kevin Johnson's out with the concussion, and now he's on IR. At this point, I can safely say, Mr. Bill, Kevin Johnson to me is like the Eric Ebron to you. He's my Eric Ebron right now. A bad pick. Should have taken Marcus Peters instead, and we probably would be in a much better position and stuff.
Yeah.
Kevin Johnson has become such an injury risk. It's just not going well. He's not learning, even when he is on the field, making a lot more mistakes. It's, I don't know. I just don't think he might be perfect for the system anymore. Maybe it's time to cut ties and move on. But sad to say, I think they did pick up his 5th-year option. Now I have to put not just linebacker or offensive linemen on the table for the draft, but I also need to consider cornerbacks again.
Oh, man.
Kareem Jackson's great at safety, but he wasn't able to play safety much because Kevin Johnson got knocked out with a concussion again. So,
right.
Yeah, which is pretty bad. It's not a good sign. Anyway, so specifically going on Watson here, because if you watch the tape, his feet, you could tell how they say with a lot of quarterbacks, how their feet are moving and how quick they're moving, and if they look like they're settled, can tell you a lot of how they're going to throw. And let's just say he was let's just say scattered, and that's what led to a lot of forced throws, bad throws.
This is Deshaun Watson's 9th career start in the NFL. So you really have to cut him some slack. He's still a really young player. You gotta call him a year 2 rookie almost.
Right, and sometimes quarterbacks with amazing talent, no matter how great and talented they are, they never learn that footwork. I.e., Brett Favre. He was never a quarterback to get set, but he always made the throws.
Exactly.
I suppose so, but at the same time, I want to mention the offensive line. While I was being really bad at first, they started to settle and gave Watson time in the pocket. He wasn't getting flushed out as much, and even then, he would either hold the ball too long or didn't just say, okay, I'm going to throw it away. No point in just forcing it to somebody which may get picked off. Just didn't do that. He has a lot to learn, but I would also argue someone like Bill O'Brien may have to learn when to call up not so questionable plays. Because for every deep throw to Will Fuller, there's a back-to-back screen pass that goes nowhere as well. So, needless to say, I can't tell you which is doing worse between the offense and the defense because they're both doing horrible things. And they all add up to 2 losses to start the season. Not good. Not good at all. And if you lose to the Giants...
That's okay. There's a couple other teams that...
if you lose to the Giants this week, who also don't have their shit together, that's a red flag.
Yep.
Right.
Anyway, I wanted to move on to a story that relates to Watson and this game. Now, I've been criticizing him, but I'm not going to criticize his looks or his character. Because, you fuck up on the play. If somebody says, maybe you should have done this, Like if you watch the tape, there are some situations where Watson had other players who were open, but decided to go put it in double coverage instead.
Right.
That's a mistake that you could learn from, and it's worth to me it's worth calling out. But this is where we get into some situations where something that is not something you should say about a person. So
He
this
has a
came.
lazy eye, doesn't he?
What?
Never mind. Keep going.
All right. So the other day, someone found out, or somebody exposed a Texas school superintendent from Onalaska, Texas, named Lynn Redden, making a racist remark about Watson online, saying that, I'm going to read the whole thing, that may have been the most inept quarterback decision I've seen in the NFL. And what he's talking about was the final play where Watson had the ball for 19 seconds and never made a throw when you need to get across to the field goal line to spike it and get a kick to tie the game. And he finishes by saying, when you need precision decision making, you can't count on a black quarterback. Needless to say, this got picked up, and you had O'Brien eviscerate this comment, Watson say, like, that's on him, be peace with him, and of course Watt saying he doesn't deserve any of our attention. But it's just a horrible thing. So, guys,
Yeah, I mean,
let me ask you,
I'm
what do you think of this?
kind of in JJ Watt's camp. Just acknowledge. I guess acknowledge that it's stupid and it happened, but don't turn it into a bigger story than what it is,
Right.
and let the school board who that guy works for handle the business and let it be done.
Oh, if you think that's
There's
bad,
to-
apparently
there's-
some people are siding with him in that area.
Well, of course they are. There's people who are mad at Colin Kaepernick.
I'm
so
assuming
remember-
that I don't know where Onalaska is, but if I had to guess, if I had to just throw a dart onto where I think it may be, I would probably aim somewhere north of Austin. The
Right.
northeastern side or northwestern side, like Orange,
at
Texas.
the end of the day, you're always gonna have idiots and people making dumb comments and stuff like that. And not for nothing, but like the media around the NFL has been blowing up stories left and right about like X, Y, and Z things instead of just talking about football. Like,
Yeah, but it does bring up a point that there is still a lot of racism within these sports, though,
Oh, yeah.
and that's not something you
of
should
course,
really
and
ignore.
from Texas, there always will be, because it's Texas. Texas, when you think of, someone asks you what's the most racist state in the union, you're probably going to hear people say one of the southern states.
Well, I was gonna say if you say the Union like the North, I'm gonna say Massachusetts. But if we're gonna
No,
go to
the
like
union is in the United States.
oh, well then I'd probably say either Texas, Arizona, or
Alabama.
or like somewhere in the deep South, like the Carolinas.
All right, so
Like
the point I
Charlotte
was getting
or
at
near
there
Charlottesville.
was it's no surprise that there's racism in Texas. That's
Right.
O'Brien's
And-
remark sums it up best. It's amazing that still exists, that thoughts like that still exist today.
And one little thing and one little caveat after that is I agree with everything you guys have said, but here's a little evidence that proves contrary to that person's point. Warren Moon, there you go. Go after
Warren-
yourself.
yeah. I mean, how about prime Michael Vick?
Prime Michael Vick.
How about
I mean-
Russell Wilson has a ring?
Yeah. I mean, at
Can't-
point,
can't count on
Dante Culpepper.
So wait, was Russell Wilson? So has a black quarterback actually won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, multiple.
Yeah, multiple. Yeah.
Yep.
Russell Wilson's the most recent.
Russell Wilson was the most
well,
recent,
Nick
right?
Foles, Nick Foles is black, if you really think about it.
Oh my God! Stop that! All right.
I bet EDP would agree with me.
Oh God. Let's just move on now. Let's go to San Fran, where the Lions were. In Santa Clara, people want to drive 40 miles to watch a boring-ass football game. Well, it wasn't so boring now because the Lions got absolutely curb stomped. Do not let that scoreboard fool you. That was, once again, Matthew Stafford getting a lot of touchdowns and stuff in garbage time. Mr. Bill, you were on the scene. You were watching the game. You were watching the game and stuff. Tell me, how did it get that bad?
Where do I even begin? Okay, the Lions defense. Let's just start there. We lost Darius Slay, I think, in like the first half because he had a concussion, and that was already bad enough.
That's like the Jenga piece that kills your defense right there.
Exactly. And so we lost Darius Slay. That was bad enough. But they were picking upon Quandre Diggs. And I mean, Quandre Diggs was making horrendous, boneheaded decisions, and he just couldn't cover Greg Kittle at all. I mean, it was a mismatch, and they knew it. So they were throwing the Kittle all game, and the 49ers were going up and down the field on my defense with Matt Breida at running back. Let's just keep that in mind. Matt Breida was running all over the Lions defense.
Are you current NFL rushing leader Matt Breida?
Yep.
He's really the rushing leader?
Matt Breida is the rushing leader in the NFL right now.
Holy shit.
Maybe Carlos Hyde now that the Browns played Thursday, but
that's going to change most likely.
But Matt Breida through 2 weeks is the rushing leader.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember for a while, Lamar Miller was with his 93 yards in a single game, but obviously that didn't carry on to the next one.
Well, but yeah, Matt Breida was running up and down on the Lions defense over and over and over again. They couldn't stop the run at all. And that was a major catastrophe because it just allowed play action passes. Jimmy G was being deadly accurate with his throws. They kept checking it down when they were covered. It was just a nightmare for my defense. And then my offense had one bright spot. One. And that is Kenny Golladay.
Kenny Golladay is proving to be one of the best draft picks that the Lions have had in recent memory.
Yeah. Literally a spinning, crazy little touchdown that he scored. He was twisting and he got in, and that was legitimately the highlight of the first half.
How tall is Golladay? Because
I think he's like 6'3", 6'4".
I was gonna say he's a bigger wide receiver. You guys needed somebody with some size on that receiver core.
Right. And here's the other thing that in that game it showed a lack of play calling on Jim Bob Cooter. And I like Jim Bob Cooter, but we are not running the football enough. I know we're behind.
What is this? 85 consecutive games under 100 yards rushing?
It's something. Yeah, it's I mean, you know, for a franchise that has a history with Barry Sanders and
I feel like Joique Bell was your last 100-yard rusher.
Yes, he was. Actually, I'm pretty sure. Maybe Kevin Smith, if anyone even remembers him.
It might actually be Barry Sanders. We don't know. It's been so long.
Very possibly. I literally can't remember. It's been like 5 years. It's something insane. I just the offense looked bad again. They got absolutely shut down in the first half, and they needed to come back. They made a game of it at the end, but by then San Fran wasn't even trying, so it didn't matter.
Yep, garbage time.
Yep.
That was pretty bad.
I overall, I'm at a loss for words. I was like, oh, the Lions will be the saving grace for Detroit sports this year. That's out the window. I'm ready for my fate again. Here we go, 1-15. Let's come.
Top pick in the draft, boys.
That's gonna go to either Buffalo or Arizona. Don't you worry.
Buffalo.
I'm gonna
Buffalo's
go
a legitimate
Arizona
0-16
actually.
team.
I mean, I don't know. You throw as soon as like Josh Rosen or is it Josh Allen? As soon as Josh Rosen comes into play, I mean, he's the
Yeah.
last rookie who hasn't played yet. So I'm sure once he comes in, he'll turn that offense around a little bit at least.
Yeah, maybe.
And
Right.
Hey,
I
they
mean,
should
you
be
never
gunning
know
for
if
a
the
top
Bills
pick.
Mafia you never know if the Bills Mafia will start rioting in the stadium. You just never know.
Hey,
it's true.
you're a Cardinals fan. You're gonna want to let him just stay in the back and let Sam Bradford take all the bullets because the minute Rosen goes out there,
But
he's
that
gonna get
means Bradford's gonna
eviscerated
last,
too.
like, till mid. Yeah, but like that just means that Sam Bradford's gonna last like 3 or 4 more quarters of a football game because he's just due to be broken at some point soon anyway.
Yep.
But,
I was gonna say
yeah.
either way, the longer it takes for Rosen to come out, the better. And besides, they kind of want a next high pick so they could try to get the next Larry Fitzgerald for them because they're gonna need someone to replace him when he inevitably retires this year.
Absolutely.
The man's a legend.
But
The man is carrying
I
them.
I hope they trade him.
Oh God!
Overall.
Trade him to a
Like, just
team
trade
that's
him to a
like
team.
got a good shot at a Super
Trade him
Bowl.
to a team that cares. Yeah. You know what's messed up? You know where he'd like thrive like insanely well? And I hate it.
I
but
swear,
it's
if you
true.
say Jacksonville,
New England,
Yep.
no, I was gonna
Yep.
say Minnesota.
I could see that. I could see
Imagine-
that too.
imagine Larry Fitzgerald
And
with
Tom
Josh Gordon and Larry
Tom.
Fitzgerald, Josh Gordon, Gronk, and Julian Edelman. The 4 of them.
Woo!
That
And then
it'd
the,
become a top 3 receiving core. It's insane. Tom Brady's efficiency will be through the roof.
exactly.
He might complete 102% of his passes.
Exactly.
All right, so back to
But yeah,
Detroit. Bill, you
the-
got to tank and
uh,
draft a good. I don't know if you need a running back because you still got to see what's his name.
I don't know what we need anymore. I've literally given up hope that I'm ever going to live to see a freaking Super Bowl. So, I'm kind of at that point where
Bill's giving up hope where like he doesn't even believe in 100-yard rushers anymore.
The last time the Lions won a playoff game, I was 9 years old. I'm in my mid-30s right now, so I don't have much hope.
It's only been a quarter of a century.
Yeah.
Listen, it's just as bad as Dallas fans. Don't worry.
Oh God.
But
But
I don't want to even talk anymore about the Lions right now because next week I'm gonna be even more depressed.
Yep. And that's gonna be bad. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk to Mr. Chicken. Mr. Chicken, let's talk some Monday Night Football.
So we'll keep this brief to keep the podcast rolling, obviously. But this is something that you wouldn't expect to hear from Seattle this year, especially going into the season. How about this take? Seattle's defense is better than their offense. And, young defensive talent showed.
What was my boy Shaquem Griffin on there? Did he do work?
Shaquille Griffin had 2 interceptions.
Wow.
On like almost back-to-back drives. And Earl Thomas, the highest rated safety through PFF through 2 weeks. And actually, surprisingly, Bradley McDougall is like number 3 rated safety in the NFL right now. So the defense is still very solid. D-line could use a little bit of health. Deion Jordan should be coming back, so that D-line should be getting bolstered up. But for this game against the Bears, it was a defensive battle. I mean, the Bears D-line was in Russell Wilson's face the entire game.
Yeah, that Onion article was on the nose.
Russell Wilson sacked, 12 times through 2 games is unacceptable for the Seahawks. But it unfortunately is Russell. Uh, the fact that he hasn't gotten hurt yet is mind blowing, and I brace for that every single week. Um, Khalil Mack just made short work of the Seattle O-line, couldn't get a run game going. There was a weird point in the third quarter where Russell Wilson called an audible, and then Brian Schottenheimer called the timeout right when Russell Wilson made the audible, and basically forced Russell Wilson to run Schottenheimer's play. 2 plays later, Russell Wilson throws a football, lands into the hands of Prince Amukamara, who takes it back to the house and essentially seals the game.
Yeah, I saw that play. That was yikes.
That was Russell Wilson's first pick six since his rookie year.
Can I talk about the Bears, Mr. Chicken,
Sure.
specifically one man? Get ready for a Mack attack. Khalil Mack ate Russell Wilson alive. He was all over Russell Wilson's face.
I believe that I covered that.
I just want to further emphasize, this man alone has done more than the entire Raiders defense. And for 2 weeks in a row, John Gruden says that they need to find a better way to rush the quarterback. I wonder who they could get. If only we had a generational talent who could have helped us get to the quarterback and apply better pressure. Now can't think of anyone. That's too bad.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I'm keeping a counter of that, by the way. Every week he says that they need to find a way to pressure the quarterback. I'm going to add it, and we're at 2 right now. Hopefully next week it'll be 3.
I mean, looking at it big picture wise, if the Bears don't go on and win a Super Bowl with Khalil Mack, I guess you call the trade a wash, because the Raiders did walk away with 2 first-round picks for Khalil Mack, which is pretty wild if you think about it for a defensive player.
Yeah, it is wild,
but back to the
first things first, they need to get into playoffs first. So take it a step at a time, Mr. Chicken.
Yeah, whatever.
Cool. He's mad.
Josh, we're not talking about that. We're talking about a football game with the Seahawks and the Bears. Khalil Mack's future can be discussed at a later point in time, aka he's going to go in the Hall of Fame, obviously. Come on. Duh. But not before Russell Wilson. Anywho, so, yeah, bad play calling offensively. Some questionable calls. There was this one issue where Pete Carroll threw a challenge flag, and the refs told Pete that he didn't throw it in time, though the next play hadn't even started yet.
What the fuck?
That was.
Looks like the refs don't
really
like.
weird.
They don't like SJW Seahawks. Yikes.
If that were the case, they'd be blowing up the Seahawks since before they won their Super Bowl. 'Cause, come on.
I said anymore.
Oh, okay. But yeah, the Seahawks have to look at their offense and make some really big adjustments, because the defense put the offense into a lot of really good positions often, and the Seahawks were not able to capitalize, and that's something that they're going to have to fix. What's nice is Seattle did open up with 2 road games to open their season, so they're going to have to do really well at home in order to even be considered for like a wild card at this point.
Hey, just like us, you and me had rough starts on the road, and you and I are both finally getting our home openers, which is at this point, it's do or die. And the good thing is we're playing against some NFC East teams.
That's true.
So, all 3 of us are in do or die situations already, because it just
Sorry, Bill.
Sorry, Bill.
It's already dead.
Yeah, well, guess what? I had to
Super
play the
dead.
Patriots first, and now you're getting the angered versions. You're just facing Tom Brady after he's gone Super Saiyan. So have fun with that.
I'd rather
So-
not.
So what were the other 3 games that we picked last week?
The other 3 games we picked last week are I think I suggested. Let's see if I look at the teams, I'll remember. I think there was
Did you guys
KC
do
Pittsburgh, and we all got
Kansas
that.
City?
We had KC Pittsburgh, which we got that right, because we all picked the Chiefs across the board. And speaking of, God Holmes,
Oh, wow.
still the king,
Yeah, still the king.
undefeated.
What other?
Blake,
What was
other
the
games
other
did you pick?
game?
we picked. I made a notion to change from Jacksonville, New England to Minnesota and Green Bay, and we all take an L for that because that's another tie. I know that they like the people other groups do ties. No. I'm not gonna bother. It's a loss for everybody.
Call it a half point. That's ridiculous. Give us all a win.
Ugh, God.
Win, lose.
Then it would be uneven. No, we gotta keep it at 6 apiece every week. No exception.
All
That's-
right. Okay.
But anyway,
And what was the
Yeah.
last?
the last game I think. Well, I think we we had Atlanta and Carolina. I think. And I think I picked Atlanta. I think.
I don't remember. You'd have to look at the tweet I sent you.
We'd have to check back. We'll roll the tapes and we'll
Well,
get back to you guys.
Okay. You know what? I could just check the schedule. If I just see the schedule and see the exact games, I'll know which one it was.
We could do that in our free time. Let's
I wanted to
got
talk
some
to-
games to
Not
pick.
yet. There was something we
We got
must
some week
discuss.
3 games.
Since we were talking after
Oh,
Thursday night
no.
football. Can we talk about the Baker's dozen?
Cleveland.
The Browns finally get a drink.
That was
Yep.
that was a
It turned from a
Yeah.
really boring game into a really fun game
yeah.
as soon as Tyrod Taylor left. Tyrod Taylor went like 4 for 14, opened up.
Oh,
in
I remember the
arguably
last
worst
game.
start of his career.
Dolphins Jets. You two picked Dolphins. I picked the
That
Jets.
game.
Miami's 2-0. They lead the AFC East.
Oh God.
Yikes.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So the
But
Browns
back to
can
Cleveland.
finally
Yeah,
drink.
the Browns. How about this? The Browns record 1-1-1.
Still better than the Lions.
I was
right
gonna
now.
say still better than all 3 of our.
I know.
teams.
Have you ever heard the term scoregami, where you get the first unique score ever? I think I found recordgami. 1-1-1.
I was gonna say I don't know if a team's ever opened up 1-1-1 before. That's kind of
Well,
hilarious.
first
It's the most Browns thing in the
Well,
world.
think about it. They first took an L, then they took a draw, which is both a win and a loss, and then they finally
No,
got
they
finally
did
got
the
a
draw
win. It
first.
evolved.
The draw was week 1.
Oh
Draw
shit!
was
No,
week one
it
against
should have been.
Pittsburgh.
God damn it! Oh well, whatever.
They went from right to left.
That's lame.
To be
Oh,
fair,
man.
they really that's a team that should be 3-0 right now.
But it also could be a team
Yeah,
where it was
they- They literally,
I really wanted them to start out 0-2. I really wish they had a tie in week 2. That would have been the most Browns thing to do as well. But anyway,
That's true.
what? I was gonna say.
no,
I was
no.
gonna ask you guys. So how about I will say Denzel Ward, pretty good.
Denzel Ward's turning into a great pick. I mean, I think that John Dorsey really he knows what he's doing right now, and he's building a good squad around what was already in Cleveland. And trading for Jarvis Landry was such a great move.
Miles Garrett on that defense. That defense is legit.
That defense is legit, and that offense is going to be dangerous.
Yep. Well, maybe Joe Thomas will come out of retirement.
Then they'll
Ooh.
start losing games.
Oh God! What if Joe Thomas was part of the
That's
curse? That would be pretty bad.
Oh, maybe.
All
Oh,
right
no.
then. So
And that wide receiver, Callaway's looking good too.
all right then. So guys, are you ready for the Pick Six segment?
Yes.
Indeed, I am. And here we go. We are going to start the Pick Six segment with the New Orleans Saints at the Atlanta Falcons.
The NFC
Ooh,
South
good
has some
game.
great divisional rivalries right now. I'm gonna go with the owners of the ProLap Stadium, the Falcons. I think are shaping up better, and the Saints look very wobbly considering they barely won against the Browns, who did not have Baker Mayfield in yet. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Falcons.
It's you know what? Neither team. This is a tough game to call. I think it's a lot tougher than some people think. Because neither team has really looked like a powerhouse. Um, but I like the Saints to bounce back offensively in a big way this week. There are a couple of key injuries on the Falcons defense that I think really are going to help the Saints to a road win in the Georgia Dome. Is it the Georgia Dome? Is that what they're calling it these days?
I think it's Mercedes-Benz.
The Mercedes-Benz Dome.
Wait a second. Don't the Saints also have their stadium called like the Mercedes Superdome?
Is it in Atlanta?
No, I'm saying both of them. Both of their stadiums are owned by Mercedes.
Well, their naming rights are owned by Mercedes.
Yeah, well, except one's just a dome, the other's a Superdome. That is stupid. That's the worst thing is that they play each other every year. So it's like, oh,
I absolutely hate that so much.
Yeah, now you're gonna be bothered all day by that, and yeah, it's irritating.
Yep. But I'm taking this. I'm gonna take the Saints.
And I've also got the Saints. I think there's going to be an offensive explosion. Mike Thomas is really going off.
I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if Julio Jones carries the offense on his back again.
Of course not. I mean, it could literally just be the Julio and Michael Thomas show.
Right. All right. So
they could put up 500 yards between the two of them, and it wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Right. All right. So on to game number 2. It is the Cincinnati Bengals at the Carolina Panthers.
Okay, the Dabbers are still having some injuries to bounce back from. The Bengals looking pretty, let's just say the Red Rifles looking a little sharp. I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going to stay in the flames and say the Red Rifle, I don't know. The soulless boy wonder is going to get it done for a third week in a row on the heels of A.J. Green and Giovanni Bernard.
And I think one of the lesser used weapons as one zone this week, and that'll be Tyler Eifert or Tyler Croft.
Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd.
He's got a lot of Tyler options.
Exactly. I got Cincinnati as well. You just never know what Cam Newton you're gonna get.
I was gonna say, Mr. Chicken, since you've watched some Dragon Ball, does Andy Dalton remind you of a certain android, a ginger android?
Ooh, maybe a little bit.
All right then, Mr. Bill. Let's move on.
All right. On to game number 3. It is the New York Giants at the Houston Texans.
As I mentioned earlier, this is the perfect offensive line led by the greatest lineman ever, Eric Flowers. This is the perfect defense or offensive line for any defensive line to get their act together and just feast.
One of these teams is due for an offensive explosion, and I don't know who it's going to be.
I'm going to put more money on Houston because of the fact that offensive line, while still not that good, was settling against the Titans one, which is it's no slouch either. The Titans defensive line isn't that much of a pushover anymore. But I feel like the Texans defense is going to be the better defense this week. But if Houston somehow blows it, I'm dropping them for the rest of the season. I will eliminate them from playoff contention myself.
Ooh.
I feel like both teams are built very similarly right now.
Well, one is a promising young quarterback. The other one's at the back end of his career.
Right, but the way they're both playing is right about on par with each other at the moment, unfortunately. Because you'll like to see more out of Deshaun Watson. And, Eli Manning to Odell Beckham. Like, Eli has too many weapons to be consistently terrible. Like, he will accidentally, luck his way into 6 wins this year, and I have a feeling that this could be one of those weeks.
So you're picking the Giants.
They got Saquon. Saquon, I mean, they got a superstar running back, and right now the Texans don't, and I think that could be the difference.
I see the defense is going to settle this.
I'm going to be stupid, and I'm going to go Houston, but I'm not. You know what? I waffled. I'm picking the Giants.
Oh God!
I waffled. I have to pick the Giants. You know, they got Odell Beckham.
Are you implying that he's better than DeAndre Hopkins?
I'm saying they're on par with each other.
But I'm asking
Right
Bill this.
now-
I'm asking Bill this.
Well, the issue is they're going to be able to run the football, the Giants, and that'll open up the play action pass game, and all it takes is one screw up, and Odell's gone. Whereas they're double teaming DeAndre Hopkins.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna
time,
just
and
double
you're
team
gonna-
Odell Beckham as well.
See, here's the thing: you're gonna see the Texans stack the box more often than the Giants.
That's why I'm
Because-
saying whichever
let's be
defense
real,
plays
it's
better
Lamar.
will win.
I still think it's gonna be the
Yeah.
Giants because you're going to have single coverage on either Odell or Sterling Shepard, and no matter how much
And then-
I like Will Fuller, I don't think Will Fuller's a better receiver.
I mean, just
Right now.
position by position. I mean, there's just more playmakers on the Giants' offense right now. I mean, you still have Evan Ingram and Sterling Shepard, and obviously Odell and Saquon. Like the four of them alone are just there's just so much talent there.
And literally, the only thing that could happen is an Eli Manning happening throw 5 interceptions.
Or gets eaten alive by
Right.
J.J. Watt, because I feel like J.J. Watt will finally get a sack this week. This is the game that you could easily
But yeah.
put money on the table that he'll break the streak, or lack of sacks streak.
Right. All right. So, on to game
Next
number
game.
4. It is the Los Angeles Chargers at the Los Angeles
Well,
Rams.
for once, the Chargers will be in a packed house in L.A., but it's not for them. It's for the rising Rams, who I say will take out the
Not for nothing,
trash.
There's gonna be like 8 total people in the stands.
So I'm gonna go with the Rams.
It's still a. I mean, the Rams. I don't think any team can touch maybe the best team in the NFL.
Well, they're gonna be the
And,
best LA team for sure. Somebody's gonna take best LA team right now.
I mean, as fun, like I love this matchup, and I do think that this. I mean, it would not surprise me if the Chargers did pull off the win, but I mean, can't pick against the Rams until they start playing poorly, and that defense has been lights out and opportunistic, and Todd Gurley is the best running back in the NFL.
Yep. I've got the Rams as well. I like the Chargers. I like where they could be at the end of the season when they get all their pieces back. They could be a very good team at the very end. But right now, the Rams are just really scary. All right, so game number 5, the Dallas Cowboys at the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. I feel like this one's gonna be more closer than you think, but it's a matter of which quarterback can take control of the game, and I am gonna go with Russell Wilson. Barely. I feel like this one will be like a one score, like a field goal differential.
The last time these two teams met up, I think the total points scored was like 21 points or something like that. It was an ugly, low-scoring game where no offense happened, and like the only touchdown was a like 5-yard touchdown. Seattle, like Russ to Jimmy Graham when the Cowboys like fumbled on their own 10-yard line. Yeah, this game is going to tell a lot about who Seattle is as a team. The defense is playing great. Earl Thomas is playing for a contract. Zeke held in check most likely, at least most of the game. And this game is going to fall on Rush's shoulders to see, whether or not the Seahawks are even going to be a viable team this year. All signs point to no at the moment. And maybe we've all been overrating Russ a little bit these last couple of years on the heels of that 2015 stretch of dominance.
So you're saying you got who?
Oh yeah, Seattle's going to win.
All right, then. And you, Mr. Bill?
Close, low-scoring, ugly game.
I got CL as well. I think their defense is like Chicken said. It's performing at an expected level, and if they can design bootlegs or something to get Russell out of the pocket and just get him into some space where he's not going to get down the field, I think he can pick this defense apart. So I got CL. And the Sunday Night Massacre, the New England Patriots at my poor pathetic
Can we just
Lions.
spare some time and just agree that we all think the Patriots are going to win?
I'm gonna give you the final score right now. It is going to be the Patriots 75, the Lions 3.
I was saying 41 to 24.
I was going to say 31-21,
Patriots.
and 14 of those points come in garbage time.
Oh, so you're saying it's gonna be like 31-7 before
The-
like the
by the
Lions get
fourth
their shit
quarter,
together?
it'll be 31-7. Tom Brady will take a
I
break,
just-
and Brian Hoyer will come out.
I mean,
I don't know, Matt Patricia revenge game.
I don't see anything.
I mean, you never know, but I mean,
If the Lions win, that'll
I
be the biggest
just-
upset of the year by far.
When's the last time
I'm
the
going-
Patriots had back-to-back losses, by the way?
I don't remember.
The 90s? I don't know.
I did want to
don't
say,
know.
there's a game I want to talk about for next week, but we probably won't be able to talk about it. So I've got a notion to talk about a Week 4 game right now, a Thursday night game. Do you guys know what it is? I'll tell you.
Oh, Vikings. Rams?
Yes. I really want to
Oh.
pick that one.
Well, we could just for shits and giggles pick it.
Well, I want to pick it so we can add it to next week's
Well,
6 games.
We
Because we won't be able to talk about it most likely, because you guys normally don't record till Friday.
Here's the
I'm
other
just
thing.
taking the home team on that one.
I'm picking the LA
I'm picking the Rams, but I think it'll
Um,
be very close. It'll be very fun. You may have shifting leads.
So
I mean, that's
if
kind of
we
how that
don't,
game went last year, no?
if we don't get to it, we still have it picked. So there we go, and then we can talk about it afterwards.
So we're all picking the Rams. we've got a lot of sweeps today.
Oh, no. Wait, who's home
Rams.
on that game?
The Rams.
You know what? Let me be the contrarian. I'll take the Vikings.
Of course you want. We had a
Okay.
lot of sweeps for
Alright.
this week, and then you had to ruin it all. We'd have had a record 3 4 sweeps.
Oh man.
All right then.
But
That'll do it for this week. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, sounds good to
All
me.
right then. We'll see you guys in week 4.